Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Orange County School Board's meeting this Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. All of our board members are present and on time. And just for the record, board members, we started at exactly 1 second before 5:01. They were challenging our vice chair, who thought she was going to have to stand in for me to start the meeting on time. Yeah, so you're on next time. To all of our board members, and let me remind our board members and the public, we've all committed not to engage in any outside electronics communication while we're here, so that we can pay full attention to the matters in front of us. I would also ask that anybody who's going to use their microphone, please talk directly into it. These things are very sensitive, and we want to make sure that our audience here and our YouTube audience is able to hear clearly what everyone has to say. I want to thank you all for being here this evening, and we will now take a moment of silence. I'll invite you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And now for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Dr. Vasquez, let me start with a question. Do we have any changes to the agenda that's been published?
No, Madam Chair, there are no changes to the agenda.
Okay, thank you. Since there are no changes, I'll open the floor for a motion to approve the agenda as advertised. Motion by Member Ferrand, seconded by Member Douglas. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, so now it's the time in our meeting where we have an opportunity to highlight and celebrate excellence among our own staff. Each board member has the opportunity to highlight 2 employees to recognize their dedication, and each board member rotates their turns. So today it is Member Vanos' opportunity. And with that, Member Vanos, I will turn the floor to you. No, why don't you go down to the podium? I apologize. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair Jacobs. Good evening. Tonight, I am incredibly proud to recognize 2 women who have improved the culture of Ridgewood Park Elementary. Please join me in welcoming our Parent Engagement Liaison, Trilana, and if I say this wrong, please excuse me, Trilana Gibbs, and 4th grade teacher Paris Hendricks. Ms. Gibbs and Ms. Hendricks, would you please come forward to the dais? It is such a privilege to have you here so we can celebrate the incredible work that you are doing for our students. Ms. Gibbs, can you raise your hand? Thank you. Began her journey at Ridgewood Park as a parent volunteer. She soon moved into tutoring, and her leadership was so clear that she was asked to become the school's Parent Engagement Liaison. In her very first year in that role, she was named the school's 2023-2024 Support Person of the Year. Ms. Hendricks joined the Ridgewood Park family as a dedicated educator with a passion for student success and community engagement. A graduate of Bethune-Cookman University, her commitment to academic excellence and student growth led to her selection at the school's 2024-2025 Teacher of the Year. In 2022, Ms. Gibbs said she recognized a strong need for mentorship, self-love, and emotional support among the school students, especially among young girls. She wanted them to learn how to handle conflict, practice etiquette, and value their education. She shared this vision with Principal Yadvobnik, Principal Y, who was an enthusiastic supporter. That year, Ms. Gibbs launched GROWL, which stands for Girls Realizing Our Willingness to Lead. After a year as the program grew, Ms. Hendricks was one of a group at the school who joined Ms. Gibbs to support the program. The name GROWL represents more than just a club. It is a commitment to empowerment. What started as a small idea now serves over 90 students in 3rd through 5th grades. Ms. Gibbs and Ms. Hendricks meet with participants every week during lunch. During these sessions, they mentor the girls on essential life skills like hygiene, bullying prevention, and preparing for middle school. Oh, so important. They invite guest speakers and parents to share different career paths, helping the girls to see what is possible for their futures. Because of the dedication of these two professionals, GROWL has expanded to include a step team, a dance team, and a cheer team. They perform at school events and give the girls a sense of pride and teamwork. They also host an annual mother-daughter fashion tea party, which celebrates family connection and a positive self-image. We see the results of their hard work every day. There is less conflict in the hallways at Ridgewood Park because these girls have built real, lasting relationships. They are a sisterhood, and they know they have a village of advocates standing behind them. Ms. Gibbs and Ms. Hendricks, thank you for seeing the potential in our students and for your tireless energy. You have helped make Ridgewood Park a place where every girl feels that she belongs. So let's take a photo, and please join me in celebrating Ms. Gibbs and Ms. Hendricks.
No worries. Yeah. Ms. Hendricks, Ms. Gibbs, you guys are such role models for our whole district. Thank you for leading by example. And the students they're impacting are so blessed. Ms. Vanos, thank you. All right, let me check to see if we have any newly appointed administrators to recognize today, Dr. Vasquez.
Yes, Madam Chair, we have one newly appointed administrator. We have Brenda Lees Reyes, who is going to be the new assistant principal at Tildenville Elementary.
Good evening, everyone. I'm truly grateful to be here tonight. I would like to begin by thanking Ms. Melissa Bird, Dr. Maria Vasquez, Mr. Martinez, Dr. Jones, Dr. Meredith Leftakis, and all the staff for this incredible opportunity. I'm extremely proud to begin my assistant principal journey at Tildenville Elementary. I look forward to working closely with the families, faculty, and staff, and most importantly, serving the students to support their academic success and overall growth. I would also like to extend a special thank you to some of the great principals I have had the privilege of working with throughout my career. Dr. Julio Valle, Mr. Robert Reiner, Ms. Rebecca Watson, and Ms. Irene James. Your leadership, mentorship, and support have been instrumental in my journey. You all exemplify what true leadership looks like. The guidance received from each of you has prepared me for this role, and I am excited to bring that commitment to Tildenville. After 20 years in education, my experiences in and out of the classroom has strengthened my understanding of leadership, collaboration, and supporting teachers while keeping students at the center of my work. I would also like to thank my parents, Sarah Roman and Wilfredo Rosa, for instilling in me a love for education at a very young age and teaching me that hard work and faith truly pays off. To my family and friends, especially those that are here with me tonight, thank you for your constant love, encouragement, and support. And finally, to my son, Jaden, you inspire me every single day to be a better person. This accomplishment is as much yours as it is mine. You are truly my engine. Once again, thank you, Dr. Vasquez, Mrs. Alvarez, Dr. Leftakis, and all the members of the board for your support. I am truly honored.
Photo? Frank, do we have your permission?
Approved. Frank approved.
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to do?
Uh-oh, whoa.
You stay for the photo.
Please do.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great one.
Some beautiful flowers.
All right, but is there anyone else here, family, friends, or co-workers, or anybody else?
Oh, come on up.
Ah, perfect. Boy, it's like they know where to line up.
Yes, I can.
Congratulations. Oh, we gotta.
I was going to take a photo. All right. Oh, you got another photo? You're getting close to your mom then. Move your head that way, Jay.
All right, we've never seen that one before. That was fun. Okay. Now I'm pleased to welcome students from West Orange High School. They're joining us as members of the Superintendent's Student Advisory Council. Dr. Vasquez, I'll turn the floor over to you to introduce them.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am delighted that you're going to have an opportunity to hear from two students from my advisory council representing West Orange High School. Woo! Yes. We have Daniel Douglas and Angelina Delgado. You guys can take it away.
I'm trying to find the percent, guys. Here we go.
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to start this off with saying thank you for letting us have this opportunity to speak to all of you today. Nice to meet all of you today. It's been a great opportunity to see all of you. I'm Daniel Douglas, and I'm the president of the National Honor Society at West Orange High School.
And hi, my name is Angelina Delgado, and I am proud to be the West Orange Student Body President. All right, guys, so we're going to kick this off with an overview. What are we up to at West Orange, and what makes West Orange so amazing? So something I want to touch on is our high-achieving sports team. So we have an incredible varsity football team who's been state quarterfinalists for a couple years. And not only are these students athletes, but they are student athletes. So our varsity football team in Q1 of this school year had an average unweighted GPA of 3.34, which is an average of a B+, which is incredible. So shout out to them for that, right? And we also have an amazing lacrosse team, soccer team, water polo team, just awesome sports teams with awesome students all around. We also have over 50 clubs and organizations at West Orange, and there are so many opportunities for students to be involved in anything that they're interested in. SGA, if you're interested in student government. NHS, we have an awesome FFA with national titles, and we have so many amazing animals on campus that you can be involved in and take care of. And our awesome ROTC, we have so many great opportunities for students. and not just clubs and organizations, but we have excellence in academics. So our reading scores are 30% higher than the state average, and our science scores are 20% higher than the state average. And going on from that, we also have great diversity at West Orange. So all students from all walks of lives, 55% minority ethnic groups go to our school, which is incredible just to have that collaboration amongst people from all over, and that's really amazing. That's what I personally really love about West Orange is our diversity.
So here at West Orange, we have a few key values that define who we are. Firstly, we seek to prepare graduated students for an inspired, thriving future at OCPS, or through OCPS Portrait of a Graduate Vision. Some ways we do that include college and career guidance, personal support with college admissions, and specialized class tracks leading to future career paths such as agriculture, construction, and even engineering. Another thing we prioritize is a connection to students, families, and community. We equip students with the tools to impact their schools, community, and even the world. Our strong social media presence helps establish our impact in the community and has a positive influence among our over 8,000 followers. West Orange also believes in empowering success in academics, with high-quality teachers pouring thoughtful effort into each lesson. Students are motivated to achieve highly, to push themselves to be better than they were yesterday. Another important factor is equipping students with lifelong fundamental skills that serve them no matter where they end up. Lastly, we're committed to creating opportunities for every single warrior to succeed, whether in the classroom, on the field, or in leadership positions. Every student and warrior has been given the chance to work hard to succeed as excellence.
All right, so I'm gonna take a minute and we're gonna talk about our warrior culture. It's amazing to be a warrior, as I would say, West Side, Best Side. So school engagement, that is something we're very, very heavy on, and we are both very involved in as SGA and NHS president. So we all know about Connectivity Day, but at West Orange, if we do something, we're gonna do it well, all right? So we have food trucks, bounce house, DJ, food. The kids love the food. And just keep these kids engaged and wanting to go, and it's just been such an amazing experience just to see everyone get together in one space. It's rare that we have that. Lunches are split in different times. It's like everyone we get to be together, and so many clubs get to be involved, and so many kids get that awesome opportunity to be together. We have fun events outside of school, like for community involvement, such as our fall festival that NHS puts on, which is like a Halloween event, where we have free food and activities and trunk or treat and competitions. Even our homecoming, this is something I'm very proud about, and I love to look over every single year. West Orange has the highest rate of student attendance in Orange County Public Schools for our homecoming, which is so amazing. We really do that awesome. And also our pep rallies, we try to keep them extremely interactive, including students from the crowds, having them come down, everyone's dancing. We have our DJ, just something I'm very proud of there. Also, we do have a strong emphasis on college readiness, as he was saying. We have an amazing college and career counselor. She is award-winning Miss Maroth. She's a very patient woman, very patient woman. And we really try to emphasize that college and career readiness. And she's very knowledgeable and just will help. If, let's say, college isn't for you, we have other options to teach you, like what those next steps look like. They are like consistent, personalized guidance, and it's not just one-on-one. We have group workshops where you get to work with each other. Maybe we're looking at FAFSA, maybe we're looking at Bright Futures. Just so much informative help there that all the students have exactly what resources they need.
And again, here at West Orange, warrior culture doesn't stop at our campus gates. We take pride in extending our impact into the West Orange County and beyond. An example of this will be our fall festival, like she was saying earlier. At our fall festival, it's a school-wide event that brings together students, teachers, families, and members of the local community. With free food, activities, costume competitions, and trunk-or-treating, this event creates a welcoming space and that strengthens our connection with local families. Additionally, our annual shoe drive demonstrates commitment to global service. This year alone, we collected over 2,000 pairs of shoes that were donated to children and adults in Honduras. Through efforts like these, our students learn the importance of service, empathy, and making a difference on both a local and global scale.
All All right, so something we like to have a focus on as student leaders in our organizations is our social media involvement. So let's be honest, guys, we all spend a lot more times on our phones than we probably should be, and I think that's an amazing way to reach our kids. You know, if you're already on the phone, you're already on Instagram, and you're just scrolling and you see this information about maybe there's a sports event coming up, maybe a connectivity day, a schedule, maybe there's achievements of students or staff that we want to put out there on social media just to keep everyone informed and feel like they're prepared and have all the knowledge that they need to be successful in our school. Our social media reaches an average of 400,000 viewers per month. We try to stay consistent on that, and sometimes it's lighthearted, sometimes it's a PSA about something like our blood drives or our dance marathon, which is going to be happening in March 6th. But yeah, so we really just want to have a focus on this to get the word out there, because what's the good if you're doing stuff but you're not letting anyone know about it? So that's something we are very passionate about.
Looking forward, we are excited to introduce a new initiative called Warrior Walls. These will be large bulletin boards placed throughout the hallways or existing bulletin boards featuring a unique prompt designed to spark creativity, reflection, and encouragement. Students will be encouraged to contribute their thoughts, ideas, and artwork using provided materials, giving them a visible platform to express themselves. Warrior Walls are meant to celebrate student voice, showcase creativity, and create moments of connection during the school day in a simple but meaningful way.
All right, so we're gonna take a second and we're gonna touch on what are our big goals as a school. What are we all doing this for? So first off, we wanna give a voice to students who may feel overlooked. And I think that the best way that we do this is by giving them opportunities to join clubs and run for leadership and just get their voice out there and heard and let them know that they have so much upward mobility there if they're interested in that. Also, so second, to provide a creative outlet to foster school engagement. So we have amazing performing arts at school, we have wood shop, we have construction classes, just such an incredible variety of whatever you are interested in to get real world experience. That is so amazing and something that really is a goal that we want to push as a school. Also, we want to create a low-pressure environment for anonymous expression. So we want students to feel comfortable if they want to come forward and say something about their beliefs and how they feel. And we really want to make it a accepting place where everyone feels like they belong. And finally, we want to install a physical location to foster peer-to-peer interaction. So we don't just go to school to learn things. We go to school to learn things about communication and collaboration and just have that opportunity to make friends, lifelong friends and lifelong connections. And we want to have a space where students can feel comfortable doing that with each other. All right, guys, we just want to say thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this presentation about our lovely school. Thank you, guys.
And one more thing, we have some little gifts for all of you. So thank you. And here we go.
Oh, yeah, right, I know. Yeah, really. Whoa.
It's chilly in here.
Thank you so much. All right.
The ice cream,
All right, hang on, guys. Hey, whoa. We're not done. Oh, besides the picture. Okay.
It gets colder by the hour, too. Yeah, I'm gonna use it. No, of course not. Definitely gonna use it.
Yeah, then we go.
This squishy ball is perfect for my stress level.
I understand you have quite the sense of humor. The day you need to get. That's not what it is.
Oh, it's me.
Just trying to get them to move.
They called you out.
You gotta get creative to inspire.
Out there.
Here, keep your cameras.
Oh, we really will.
I can take it again, yes. You got it? Good. 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 Who blinked? Stay there. One more. Are we clear?
Can I say something now?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Whoa. Before you all get away from us, I've got some very frustrated board members up here. Yes. Why, I have two here. Three here who want to talk, and one who is absolutely demanding her right, because it's her district, to speak first. So go for it.
I wanted to say
Yes.
something.
Member Douglas, you are recognized.
Okay, I just wanted to say I was absolutely mesmerized by your presentation and your presence. Yes, the West is the best, right? And I just want to say, in District 4, we always expect more. And this is definitely what you gave us today. And I appreciate you. And Daniel, we have the same last name. Let's look at Ancestry.com and see. We'll see. Anyway, thank you.
Very good. Very good. A couple more board members. You're welcome to sit now. There won't be any questions. Okay. All right. There could be questions. Member Byrd.
Yes, Mr. Howitt, are you in the room? Oh, he's not here. Okay, so
are you going to tell him he's out of a job?
Mr. Howitt is our communications director, and I will be speaking to him about when next time he needs to hire someone for his department, that he needs to be reaching out to you too. You are amazing. Your communication skills are on point. So I know that, are you both seniors? Okay, well, you definitely both need to be looking into the field of communications or marketing or public relations, something like that, because wow, you guys did an amazing job, and you made me want to go back to high school and come visit West Orange, because I'm telling you, man, it's so, you're so witty, and just, it was really great. And thank you for your passion for your school. We could feel it. You guys, tremendous job.
Thank you, Member Byrd. Member Ferrant.
Yeah, we couldn't let you guys leave without just giving a shout out. Just your presence, the way you presented yourselves, the way you speak, your smiles on your faces. I mean, everything. This is really what we're looking for when we look at a portrait of a graduate. This is what we want to see. Kids who are able to look adults in the eyes, who are able to communicate well, and who show the amazing things that are happening at your school. So really excellent work. So excited. I agree with Member Byrd. We need to get you hired somehow. Even if it was, listen, we've been talking to about promoting our schools, and maybe you already do this, but doing reels on your Instagram or whatever you guys are on. Instagram is probably old by now, and you're on to something else. But even doing that, you guys, the way you communicate is so well done and well spoken, and exactly what she was saying. I just want to go visit and check it out, and you guys are doing phenomenal stuff. And shout out to your principal. Thank you for being here, and awesome. Thank you. Great work.
Member Gallo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, you guys have some serious life goals. Y'all crushed that. That was phenomenal. When I grow up, I want to be just like y'all. Because you're more articulate than I am at times. Congratulations, great job. I was so impressed with your wit and your presentation and all the work, and just the way you interact with adults. This is what we want to see in young students, just being able to interact and look them in the eye. And I'm just so thrilled that you came tonight. And I was happy to hear that your principal has such a sense of humor. Hopefully they're not all dad jokes. Mostly. Thank you all again for being here. It was wonderful.
Thank you. Let me close out with this. Everybody said it, but your enthusiasm, your confidence, the content, all of it was outstanding. And I'm with Member Byrd. I am ready to go back to high school. And I'm going to West Orange. No two ways about it. So thank you. Thank you. The West is the best. All right. Thank you. Okay. Wasn't that fun? All right, next, I would like to introduce Desiree Hitchman-Houghton, Elementary Principal Representative with the Orange County Association of School Administrators. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have a tough act to follow. So good evening, Chair Jacobs, board members, Superintendent Vasquez, Deputy Superintendent Martinez, and staff. My name is Desiree Hitchman-Houghton, principal of Shenandoah Elementary School, and OCASA's principal representative. So what are principals doing on this side of the year? Well, we are realizing that there is a new year. It's time for new perspectives, data-driven decision-making while we're analyzing our PM2 data to examine student growth. As we move forward into this new year with our shared focus on positive student culture and student achievement, I want to emphasize the importance of data-driven decision-making in everything that we do. During this time of year, principals are engaged in analyzing student achievement data with their principal leaders, their faculty. Together through collaboration and our collective expertise, we are determining the best course of action for the remainder of the school year. We are working closely with our leadership teams, teachers, and parents to assess what individual students need to thrive in their learning environment. Data is more than numbers. It's a story about our students, their progress, and the opportunities we have to help them succeed. As principals know that when we use data effectively, we identify and close learning gaps, provide targeted support, allocate available resources, and plan for human resources where there will have the greatest impact. The sweat equity has the greatest impact. Deputy Superintendent Martinez reminds us as school leaders to continue to examine the structures and systems that enable success. Aligning professional learning for staff, ensuring strong sense of belonging, clear academic and behavior expectations for students, and well-designed operational systems form the foundation of effective schools. As we make decisions for our schools based on our most current data, use fresh eyes, every decision we make will be grounded in evidence and not assumptions. This approach builds trust, fosters collaboration, and ensures that our efforts truly make a difference for every student. I would like to thank the school board superintendent Vasquez, her leadership team, principal leaders, building leaders, and teachers for your commitment to academic excellence for all our OCPS learners. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much. So for those of you who have been here before, but not in a few years, we've changed our practice when it comes to proclamations and recognitions. We still issue proclamations, and you'll still see on our marquees as you drive around recognitions and celebrations. The board has adopted all of them the beginning of each school year, so we won't be announcing them today, but if you are interested in seeing them, a list remains on our agenda for the entire year. So just didn't want you to think that we weren't still celebrating really important milestones like Black History Month, for instance, or Martin Luther King Day, or all of those important memories and distinctions. So with that, we're on to the business portion of our meeting. Mr. Palmerini, do we have anyone? Okay, yeah, no, we thought we were gonna, we have two other organizations that we thought were gonna speak, but they're not, so we're. Mr. Palmerini, do we have anyone registered to speak today?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have 12 speakers on the consent agenda and then 2 speakers on non-consent items.
Okay, okay. Member Ferrand, Oh, thank you. A reminder. Yes, some of you may have come to celebrate. And so I don't want you to feel like you have to stay for the rest of the meeting. You're welcome to, but if you don't want to, this would be the time when you can politely excuse yourself, which is always a lot more fun than sneaking out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Member Farad. Okay, well, thank you, whoever. In front. I thought you were trying to find out if we would let people speak. So that's why I was like, I jumped to that. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. All right, Mr. Pomerini, I believe you said we have 12 speakers on the consent agenda.
We do, Madam Chair. So just as a reminder to the board, under your policy BEDH, if you have between 11 and 20 speakers, we take the normal 3 minutes and go down to 2 minutes.
Okay.
So
we have 12. It would be my recommendation to the board that we allow everyone to keep to the 3 minutes. Does anybody disagree with that? Okay. I recognize it's in our policy, and we rarely deviate from our policy, but I think it's really important that we hear from everybody, so.
That is no problem. I was just tasked to remind you.
No,
all
I
with
appreciate
respect to
that.
this.
I very much appreciate that. Let me point out before we open up to public comment, and we want to hear from the public before we take up the consent agenda, because of those of you who want to have an opportunity to share your opinions before we vote. We do have some ground rules, and I don't think most of them are necessary. We have a great group of individuals here. The one thing I would ask is if somebody is speaking and you agree with them, the inclination is to clap. If somebody is speaking and you don't agree with them, every now and then somebody takes it upon themselves to, I don't know, boo or something. But we would ask that you refrain from any audible sounds, audible comments. Comments would have to be audible. If you're in favor and you want to show support for the speaker, by all means, give us a thumbs up. If you disagree, just politely give us a thumbs down. I do ask that you not do like multi-fingers and thumbs, because I get a little dyslexic and not always sure what that means. So with that, we have a couple people just joined us. We're going to go ahead and take our first speaker on the consent agenda only.
I'm going to go for the first four. The first four speakers are N.Y. Nathiri, followed by Colson Fry, followed by Taurus Mack, followed by Regina Hill.
All right. And as N.Y. Nathiri is coming forward, let me also say at the forefront of this, one of the things that I most dislike about serving as chair is having to tell people when their time is up. So please work with me on this, because if I don't stop the speaking when the time is up, it's not fair for some people to have more time than others. So again, I apologize that we have to have a time limit and then I have to be the bad guy, but I will be if I need to be. So. Whoa. A lot of documents in there. Welcome.
Thank you. NY Nathiri Association to Preserve the Eatonville Community. Our mission is to preserve, protect, and promote historic Eatonville for today and posterity. I'm here to bring unpleasant comments. I'm here to represent truth to power. And it's personally uncomfortable for me because over the last 3 decades, our organization has worked very closely with Orange County Public Schools at all levels, from the superintendent, Dr. Schott, in the 1990s, all the way to Superintendent Barbara Jenkins. We've actually provided professional training and development for teachers at Orange County Public Schools. And most recently, over the last 10 years, our organization has been responsible for an innovative program called the Zora STEM Conference for middle school students and have worked very closely with senior staff member Kim Gilbert. So to have to make these comments, speaking truth to power, is unpleasant. But the fact is, because of the process that you have followed, for whatever reason, a more private process, a flawed process, you really have set yourselves to a place where you are ill-informed, and in fact, the truth is, you do not know what you do not know. Examples. You speak in terms of the importance of historic Eatonville, but the connection between your stewardship and the legacy of the land and the museum possibilities that Eatonville as a living museum represents has not been there. You do not know, for example, in 2023, that there was research and a 10-year plan, which we call Eatonville Renaissance, was developed, and that as a portion of that property, the Zora Neale Hurston Festival and Campus for the Arts, Humanities, and the Sciences is a part of that mission that can bring true sustainability to Eatonville. In 2023 figures, that campus would cost $87,857,254. You do not know that currently a national firm is conducting an economic impact feasibility study on cultural heritage tourism as an economic impact, again, looking at Eatonville as a living museum. And you do not know that experts in historic preservation, community planning, and architecture, landscape architecture, have reviewed and analyzed that quote-unquote community master planning project model that has been peddled to you and that you have embraced, that it is out of date, that it is inappropriate, that it is in other words, these are things that are really the case. And so tonight, as you prepare to take a vote, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Leary.
Your next speaker is Colson Fry, followed by Taurus Mack, Regina Hill, and 7 Charleston.
Hi, I'm speaking on 2 different agenda items, so would you like me to separate them out, or?
Or are they both on consent?
Yeah, one's for 1504 and one's for 1701.
Mr. Palmerini?
1701's non-consent.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's not on
sorry.
consent. So if you would restrict your comments to 1504, and then when we get to non-consent, we'll call on you again. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Well, good evening. My name is Colson Fry, and I'm speaking as an Orange County community member and Sea Alliance organizer. No one wants profiteering charter operators to move into public schools and steal our land. At the same time, the people of Eatonville have communicated clearly, consistently, and overwhelmingly that they feel cut out of the process. The community of Eatonville should be partners in this decision, not an afterthought. We understand the choices being made are and the work being done is challenging, but I encourage the board to reach out and collaborate with community partners. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There. Thank you, sir.
Next speaker is Taurus Mack, followed by Regina Hill, 7 Charleston, and then John Beecham.
Good evening, Chair,
welcome,
board members, superintendent, and everybody else in their respective places. As far as I got a lot of concerns, but I can't get too much into all the details of it. It's only one reason that we're here today, and that's from the mayor of the town of Eatonville making her own recommendations, going behind the council back, essentially to come up with her own theory on what she wants instead of what the council wants for the entire town. Last time I checked, I work for the citizens of Eatonville, and for you to promote your own opportunity to seek a sit-down visit with Dr. Phillips Foundation charity, who I have no issues with, as well as OCPS, who I have great respect for. But anytime I'm put in a position like this to make these decisions based off of what has been handed to me, is problematic. And what she's done to this community of Eatonville is something that I would never do. And all the mayors that have been through this process have been asked to do deals. They never went forth with it. And for one reason, because of the history that we have in Eatonville. I was, one of the kids that actually had an opportunity to grow up in Eatonville and seeing all the things that I've seen, knowing that it's the oldest black municipality in America, established August 15, 1887. And I've heard the language about we can't do this and we can't do that. We've been self-sufficient for a long time. We've been our own government body. Even though we sit in the county of Orange County, we do independently board ourselves in terms of government. And I feel like who's to better tell us what can come in our community than the people? That's why we have engagement in terms of what the citizens want. Who's to better tell me or any board member or any other entity outside of Eatonville to tell us what we need in our community? I know what we need in our community. That's one of the first things that I promoted once I got elected in the town of Eatonville almost 10 years ago. And it still sits with me. I know we're in a critical time right now in terms of just trying to build economic growth in our community. I know we need to grow. I know we need to do things that's going to help, sustain the tax base that we do need here. I do want to establish businesses coming in our community that's going to make sense. But, according to the MOU and the proposal that has been proposed to us, is something that I'm definitely not in favor of for a lot of reasons. And that reason, I would say, is not bringing tax base to our community. I love the nonprofit idea, but I do welcome it. But at the end of the day, it's not helping us economically. It's not helping us on the tax base, even though I've heard the language from this particular board saying that it does. And if you're looking out for the best interest of the town of Eatonville, give us the land. That's what I'm demanding. That's what I'm asking. That's what I've been asking. Please give us the land. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker. Oh, I'm sorry.
Next speaker is
Thank you.
Regina
No,
Hill.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me to come before you all to speak. Say, what is Regina Hill doing here in an Eatonville issue? Well, I think I have somewhat expertise in the transformation of the West Lakes community, where we were able to work with Mr. Terry Prather in Left Orlando and transform a disinvested area into now a thriving community of businesses, mixed income apartments, senior homes, early learning center, Boys and Girls Club, and working with Orange Center Elementary. And the homeowners within that area, property values start to increase, and it's very desired. And also had the opportunity to work with Dr. Phillips and Mr. Ken Robinson on a major project now called the Packing District. But what many didn't realize, part of the Packing District straddled the Mercy Drive, W.D. Judge area. And working with them, what I did, I was hesitant when I first got in office and started working with them. But what I saw was transformational change for that community. I found them to be very honest. They engaged the community. It took us a couple years to put all these charrettes together, but they allowed the community to lead, and they assisted. They did the heavy lifting with finances. These big projects can't be done unless you have public-private partnerships to do it. Even Mayor Dyer told me when I had angst that, Commissioner, you have big dreams and big goals. It's a great plan, but the city can't. The city of Orlando can't afford $1 billion to put this into action, and we need partners. And I gave Dr. Phillips a chance. I gave Mr. Prather a chance. And they honored their commitments to those areas and prioritized the people first from that area for all these new wraparound services and apartments and homes. That's the only thing I saw in your MOU that I would ask you all to put in. It was only geared towards teachers, and the people of that zip code wasn't placed in it, nor was public safety officers. I didn't see that in workers. So I came to the workshop. I hate that we're here because all council members should have been involved in a decision such as this. But I can read the room, and I know you all are going to vote on this today, and it seems like you have the votes. So I would just encourage the council members to do what I did, and it became a huge win, is to work with Dr. Phillips and work with Mr. Prather, which I know is an honest man and a good man, and both of them are. And they got the money. They have the funds, and I would ask that Dr. Phillips do the same thing that they did in West Lakes in the Packing District, is include contractors from the area and include employment from the area, and let it be people-led if you all get the vote today. But thank you for helping me transform District 5.
Thank you, Commissioner, for being here and sharing your perspective.
Next speaker is 7 Charleston, so followed by John Beecham and Wanda Randolph.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I could do that. Good evening, you all. My name is 7 Charleston. I'm the executive director of the Seeds of Pine Hills. And Eatonville isn't somewhere that I was born and raised or lived in at all, but Orange County is my home. And I know that sovereignty anywhere in Orange County affects sovereignty all over Orange County, and especially with a predominantly black area like Eatonville. I understand what it means to want sovereignty, to want the ability for residents to be in the seat of change. You know, it is good to have great partners, but I would listen to the community first, and especially having a very powerful organization come into a community. It's great to have powerful partners, but at the same time, you know, you don't want to have the people at the mercy of an organization with more power than most of the residents. You know, overwhelmingly, the majority of Eatonville residents are asking for power over the land to get the land returned, and I'm with the people. Please listen to Eatonville residents.
Thank you, sir.
Next speaker is John Beecham, followed by Wanda Randolph, and then Stan Morris.
Good evening. My name is John Beecham, and I'm with the Preserve the History of Maitland and Eatonville. Historic Eatonville is not the 32805, it's not the 32801, and it's not West 32789. It is the 751. It is historic. Historic Eatonville is just as important as the Spanish history in St. Augustine. In Eatonville, you have American history. You have white Maitland, Negro Eatonville in 1887. The people of Eatonville had to sign Maitland Charter for Maitland to incorporate because women couldn't vote. And look at us today. And then Maitland helped Eatonville sign their charter, and Eatonville became the first black municipality in America. It was so important that every newspaper around America said, how can these Negroes self-govern themselves? Because remember, they was enslaved, and it's true. How can these Negroes, New York Times, St. Louis Times, how can they self-govern themselves? For 138 years, Eatonville have self-governed themselves. Dr. Phillip, you walk in Florida Hospital and you see their name. But however, we want the deal that the Packing House District got. They're not the owners of the property, they are the investor. They're an investor. We don't need Dr. Phillips to tell us how to run our business, but if they want to do something novel, invest in Eatonville and let Eatonville dream come true. Eatonville is very important to Orange County because we got 77 million visitors to come to OIA every day. Eatonville is a destination. Just go to Zora Hershey Museum. On Friday, they come in trucks, buses. I'll be doing a MLK walking tour this weekend starting at Lake Lily. In the 1800s, it was called St. John's Hole. Joe Clark is the founder. A black gentleman, slave from Georgia, is the founder. We have an opportunity to take these kids from OCPS, the Christian schools, and bring them on Lake Lily. City of Maitland has let us build a living museum. So these kids can come at that museum like they do at Arlington History Museum, and they can sit down and understand American history. You see, our tour is about better together. And what you're going to do now is kind of separate it. Eatonville, 32801, 32805, and then 3279 Paramore. Let's go with 32801. When we leave here tonight, just driving on the bridge, it's homelessness. It was caused because of affordable housing. Affordable housing gives tax credit to the contractor. Does nothing for the city. It's going to increase Edenville Police Department, all the essential service, water, sewage, everything. They're going to have to raise the taxes on their people, and that's what started the segregation. You know, that's called it segregation. Some people call it gentrification. That's what it caused. Edenville has the lowest crime rate in Orange County. Why? There's a secret sauce there, and that secret sauce is the 32751. It's historic, and us, we, the people of Orange County, can invest in that, and we can make this place a better world to live. And this time, under your watch, you have an opportunity to do the right thing. I'm leaving. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us.
Wanda Randolph, then Stan Morris, and then Liam Borg.
Councilwoman, welcome.
Good evening. Good evening, staff. The board, I certainly appreciate this opportunity, Chair, to be here today and to address my concerns as a council-elected member of the town of Edenville. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say that I know that we're at the final vote today. And I know you've had a lot of things on your mind that you have to really think about. I just want to say that prior to me being here today, everything that we've asked for has been rejected upon your means as to how you view what we need in Edenville. You rejected our extension for 90 days to collaborate for a partner plan between Dr. Phillips and the town of Edenville. That didn't go through. You rejected also the request for the town of Edenville to own the property, to own the land, okay? The memorandum of understanding that was signed on September the 30th, that's actually in conflict with the legislative body. Also being insensitive to the needs of the town when it comes to economics, that just mentioned, and also historic sensitivity. Possibly with this process in place, there could be some issues concerning code ethics, concerning an employee who was able to negotiate or to meet with you, who works for the Orange County School Board and also works for you. And I mean our mayor. And that means signing documents, maybe being in meetings. I think a lot of that has to me, is a conflict and not coming back to us in order to let us know exactly what's going on. So we're still trying to move forward, despite all these things that we are being confronted with. We totally disagree, I totally disagree with the terms of the real estate purchase agreement. We could have been offered the same. The last time I was here, I believe that it was mentioned there were at least 8 contracts that came before you. Actually, in our records, we only have about 2. The others were outside of Edenville. It wasn't the town of Edenville. And if I need to be corrected, please correct me. But, however, it is hopeful that even at all those things, that we still will be able to collaborate with Dr. Phillips. And we're hoping that you have a listening ear to listen to what we want as officials and what the community wants best for Edenville. As you know, that we express our roads and our infrastructure that really needs a lot of attention. We need revenue. We're willing to be one of the smart cities of our size in technology in years to come.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Your time is up. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
May God bless each and every one of you.
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you for this time. Thank you.
Next speaker is Stan Morris, followed by Liam Borg, and then Marissa Bellinger.
Welcome, sir.
Hi. My name is Stan Morris, and I'm from Orlando, born and raised here.
This has got nothing to do with politics on my part in terms of just the story of Edenville is so phenomenal. I mean, in terms of helping with the building of Maitland around Lake Lily and as they recruited and the connection and then the separation, Edenville being named after Joseph Eden, which is a white man. Now, it has such a unique story for 27 registered voters unanimously agreeing to incorporate the city that stands to this date. Even having a newspaper back then, the Edenville Speaker, which on its 22nd January edition quoted, Negroes solving the great race problem by securing a home in Edenville, Florida, a Negro city governed by Negroes. Even to this point, it's a story. It's about a coming together and a separation and a building. It has such a powerful story. It's phenomenal. The problem is that at some point, if the house dies, if Edenville being the house, being the physical, beautiful landmark where it's located, then our contents as black people won't survive. I mean, if the house doesn't matter, how can the contents matter? This is not a racial meeting, or it's not about race, it's not about Dr. Phillips. It's about as much as, you look at a black man standing up and we're supposed to be the head and the capacity and the uniqueness of it, of 27 registered voters that saying that we were voting in 1887. It's not a question of who's right or who's wrong, it's the preservation. There's probably 43 million blacks in America, and if we only gave $1 a year, we'd create a tax base. It's not a big rush because in actuality, Edenville has done a good job at this point. Drive through there and see how good it looks. There's economic disparity in a lot of areas in that respect in terms of making decisions in terms that could affect us, that when we're in our graves and stuff, that it doesn't have any effect on our legacy, where the kids can look at the collaboration that blacks and whites and other groups came together and able to tell their individual stories. All of us have a story. History is a prefix, 2 words, his story. Well, I think we should have the opportunity to tell our story in that respect and not point fingers at who's right or who's wrong, but still uphold this legacy in terms of us having the opportunity. For an example, dismissing certain books out of the school system, we would have the opportunity to put and tell the story the way we want the legacy to be passed on to our children, to where there's a positive connection in terms of what we've accomplished and not being one individual or group trying to get some glorified recognition for something that the Edenville speaker said we solved that great race problem. This is not about race, it's about legacy. It's about us having the ability to come together and to market that town in terms of letting blacks be responsible for, in some sense, black affairs. For a kid to be, again, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next speaker is Liam Borg, followed by Marissa Bellinger. Excuse me.
Which microphone? Either of them? It looks like it works. Okay. Thank you so much. Before I speak, I would like to thank all the speakers before me, and I would also like to apologize that this is the first time I've been in this room. I have never been this disappointed in my school district before, and I'm very saddened to say that. But I saw this very recently. I was faced with this news. My boyfriend grew up in Eatonville. Unfortunately, could not join me today. However, I would like to make him proud with a speech. With the numbers I was provided that this sale is going to potentially go through for, that would be giving up the land for roughly $10,000 per acre. The median cost of land in Orange County right now is $100,000 per acre. It is 10 times what this is being sold for. This is being sold for pocket change to the Dr. Phillips Incorporated. And I don't see how that is supposed to be significantly beneficial. As most people from Eatonville are saying, this sale likely won't end up helping the people in Eatonville whatsoever. This is also leaving a lot of expectations on Dr. Phillips. It is leaving a lot of expectations on the privatization. Privatization does not work. We have seen this time and time again. I've been working in politics since I was 15 years old. And time again, what I see is that every study that comes out, every survey, everything we ever see about privatization shows that it doesn't work. It is bad for the economy, it is bad for the locality, it is bad for autonomy. What we are trying to do now is to privatize a very historically important area in Eatonville that could be used by the city for much more important things. Now, again, I have not had the most time to do my research. I was actually found out about this last night, and so I would like, if anyone can correct me on this, please feel free. But when I checked, I believe that there are 0 public middle or high schools in Eatonville. And if anyone's able to correct me on that, please feel free. However, I was not able to find any conflicting information about that in Eatonville proper. This parcel of land can be used for significantly more important uses for the people in Eatonville. A museum would be another wonderful thing, sure. In fact, unfortunately, our governor denied the idea of putting a African American history museum in Eatonville, and I think that would have been a wonderful idea. But there's just so much more that could be done, and I think that it is a mistake for this school board to sell that land and to privatize it. I believe that the autonomy of Eatonville is very, very important here, and I think that that autonomy should be recognized and that autonomy should be granted. I believe that Eatonville has all rights to this parcel of land, or at least should in an ideal world, and I believe that it would be more important to either sell or gift this land to the city of Eatonville. Thank you very much, and I cede my time.
Thank you, sir. I hope you have an opportunity to stay around long enough for answers to some of your questions and responses. Mr. Pomerini.
Next speaker is Marissa Bellinger, then followed by Ryan Smith and Jim Willard.
Thank you.
Marissa Bellinger. All right. Next speaker then is Ryan Smith, followed by Jim Willard. And Madam Chair, just wanted to let you know, Commissioner Uribe from the Orange County Commission is here, and she wanted to also speak on Fort Gatlin. She's left her meeting to come over here to do that as well.
All right. And Mr. Willard is here. Oh, you're right. It's on consent. I'm sorry. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for the time. So I'm here as a resident of South Orlando. I know west is the best, I think. So I think is south the proud side? Is that what it is? So I'm here representing South Orlando. It has to do with Fort Gatlin. I know that's a subject change from the prior comments. So for those of you who are not familiar with Fort Gatlin, I wouldn't dare put it on the screen because there would be an exodus from the room. It is, for those of you not familiar with Fort Gatlin, take one of the more blighted areas of maybe where you live, and this would probably put it to shame. So we are a proud community of a lot of young kids. There's not a lot of parks, and so a private benefactor has stepped up, represented by Mr. Willard, who I know, like, and trust to a significant degree. And so I just wanted to say thank you more than anything. Other residents of South Orlando are here. It's been a pretty beautiful picture of citizens getting together, working with many of you fine folks. And I want to thank many of the board members for making their time available and listening and hearing and giving advice. This is not something I've ever participated in, so I found it refreshing. So I just wanted to say thank you. Alicia, I will also say to you, thank you very much for spearheading and all of your efforts. So I just wanted to recognize you for your contribution, and Miss Uribe as well, who's here. She was absolutely wonderful, and I loved watching you two work together. So it was refreshing on a lot of different angles. So I just wanted to thank you. And as it pertains to kind of where we are, I ask that you accept the agreement and move forward and make the Fort Gatlin site a beautiful park for our kids and for our community. So that's all I have to say, and
all right.
Hoorah. All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Willard, good to see you.
Madam Chair, good to see you as well. Other members of the school board, my name is Jim Willard, and I'm an attorney here in Orlando, have been around for quite some time. And I've got the privilege of representing a gentleman that is probably one of the most generous benefactors I've had the privilege of representing. He is a resident of Orlando, grew up in this area, and has stepped up to fund the demolition of the buildings, the former state or U.S. Navy buildings, then occupied by the school board for a period of time, to demolish it and convert the property to a community park. Your attorney's office and myself have worked out a purchase agreement that is very well represented in the summary in your agenda today. It's as simple as that. He intends to, after a lot of due diligence, demolish the buildings, construct a park, and hopefully after that, turn it over to Orange County for maintenance. It's a relatively small area. We think the maintenance cost will be nominal, and once the existing buildings are demolished in the park construction, we believe that the county will be very open to taking ownership of it and continuing it in as a public park. Although initially we're going to have to go through a zoning process to identify, the development plan, which there'll be tons of public input at that time. But at the end of the day, he's funding it all, so it's quite a remarkable opportunity. So I would hopefully encourage you to vote favorably on it tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Willard. Thank you for showing up to share your comments on behalf of your client. Quite amazing. Thank you.
Good evening, school board members and superintendent. It's a pleasure to see all of you guys. It's so great to be on the other side sometimes. I want to take this moment to just be here to support this incredible community that's come out and Mr. Willard and his client. And I wanted to give some assurances that we have fought very hard. I would be remiss if I didn't thank school board member Alicia Ferrant, that I will honestly say together we tag teamed this issue and made it a top priority of communicating not only with our respective agencies that we represent, but the people that we represent. And what you see today is a perfect example. I know that a lot of things have happened very quickly, and I have been very prudent on getting on our county administrator to make sure that we're in a good position on this. I did receive a document from our deputy county administrator that felt really confident, but I wanted to assure you that if you allow this transaction to go on, and there are a lot of stipulations that have to be done by Mr. Willard and his client in a very specific period of time, I will be the #1 advocate fighting to make sure that Orange County accepts this property, cares for it, and protects its future. I do want to take one additional step, and you may hear some of our constituents say Fort Gatlin is history. Right? There are some incredible monuments there that some very famous football players by the name of Townsend have done their Eagle Scout projects there. And I also plan on working very hard once it's part of our Parks and Rec to honor that history of Fort Gatlin, whether it's with mile markers, presentations of what's been done, because I think the biggest part of Pine Castle, and for all of you who know it or don't, I'm an Oak Ridge High School grad, so go Pioneers, right, Ms. Felder? But we always want to preserve and protect and celebrate our history that we have in Pine Castle and in Central Florida. It's one of the oldest areas of Orange County. So thank you all for being so supportive of us. Thank you for your team who showed up, dealt with our team, and just feel assured today as you make this decision that I will be advocating, and it doesn't stop today. Our advocacy will continue all the way till we make sure that this is done, sealed, and delivered, if this, what they say. So, and there's so much pressure with this clock. I'm not normally happy to be on this other side, but I did want to take a moment and thank you for being so generous. I did run over from the Board of County Commission, and thank you for that. And thank you for all you do, for your service to our community, and for your love and compassion for our children. Thank you.
Commissioner, thank you as well. And thank you for taking the time out to join us for this. Thank you.
That is your last consent agenda speaker.
All right. We have a number of board members who'd like to speak. Let me start with Member Vanos.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. As a school board member for Orange County and also the historic town of Eatonville, I wanted to speak just to give some context for my vote today. Reaching this point of having to vote on this purchase and sale agreement has been a long time coming. It has taken quite a process to get here, and I'll be the first to say it has not been a perfect process. It's involved a long history, and we've had a lot of really difficult conversations. But I first want to give a huge thanks to the Eatonville Town Council for welcoming me to all of your meetings and sharing your concerns with me, taking me on tours. I want to thank the Eatonville residents for your phone calls, emails, handwritten notes, coffees, tours, history lessons. I've cleaned up trash with you, and you provided insights, so I really appreciate those conversations as well. And of course, also want to thank Dr. Phillips for being so invested, willing to invest in the town, and also for their involvement in conversations and willingness to stand up to questions after question after question during the previous few work sessions. With respect to the purchase and sale agreement, I recognize that many of the members of the town council, along with a few other town residents, have concerns. And I've attended the council meetings, and I feel that I have raised all of the questions that you have asked during the work sessions. And I think when it comes to the concerns regarding the tax base, when it comes to concerns regarding affordable housing, I do believe that they have been adequately addressed to where we are now. And more work needs to be done, and more input needs to be taken. But from what I can tell, the real, I would say, ire I'm feeling has more to do with the way that the mayor went about the process. And I completely understand this concern. It doesn't feel good to feel excluded. It's embarrassing. It doesn't feel transparent. And I agree that it's not, the ideal way to conduct business. However, I struggle with some of the comments I hear that the town had no agency, or that there was an unequal opportunity that was given to Dr. Phillips that wasn't given to the town. And I need to push back a little bit on that narrative, because the town council members, I don't believe they were completely in the dark. 2 years ago, after a failed sale of the property and after a lawsuit was filed, town residents began attending publicly noticed workshops to hold town input and devise a plan for Eatonville. And over the course of 18 months and several workshops, a master plan reflecting the town's desires was developed. And those desires from that plan have been incorporated into this purchase and sale agreement. And I understand that some council members and residents disagreed with the master plan process, but here's the important point. The dissenters were on notice as to what was happening. And rather than working to devise an alternate, viable, and financially feasible plan, the dissenters were silent. And our general counsel stated that we would have considered any plan that had been brought to the board, but no additional plan was ever offered. And so when the town council says that they were not given the same opportunity for consideration as Dr. Phillips, I don't believe that that is true. The only other plan that was discussed and considered was presented during a work session by the town in June of 2025. And a couple of things emerged from that session. First, the majority of the board needed a financially viable plan that could be accomplished. Second, the board was very clear about prioritizing the longevity of the town and the necessity of developing a sustainable tax base. And third, board members believed that the school district should realize some kind of consideration or benefit in exchange of the land. And this was directly tied to some of the board members' concerns about the legality of conveying the property under the proposed $1 lease purchase sale agreement. Now, personally, I thought the lease purchase agreement concept was lawful, and I said that at the meeting. But reasonable people can reach different conclusions, and a plan that doesn't have at least 4 votes on this board is a plan with no viable future. And so I understand why Mayor Gardner chose a new path. Moreover, she publicly stated that she came to realize that the town did not have the expertise, the experience, the financial wherewithal, and the personnel to develop this property on its own. And I find this assessment by the mayor of the town to be extremely influential. Now, some were offended by that statement, but concerns about Eatonville's ability to develop a 100-acre parcel doesn't mean that Eatonville is incompetent or bad or dying. It just means it's still growing. And some have claimed that they are going to fight for Eatonville, but to me, fighting for Eatonville means taking a hard look at the town's resources and saying yes to a needed gift that comes your way. And to me, fighting for Eatonville means, may I continue?
Yes.
Madam Chair, it's up to you. We normally, when we have debate on or discussion of consent agenda items, we run the 5-minute clock, but I will defer to you if you want to let the member Vanos continue.
Go ahead.
Thank you. To me, fighting for Eatonville means showing up at workshops and providing your input, or simultaneously developing an alternate plan for consideration. It would be wonderful to have more than one plan to look at right now. And to me, fighting for Eatonville means letting go of your own plan or your own personal deal and doing the pragmatic work to move the land from the school district back to the benefit of the town. I have heard from so many Eatonville residents who support this agreement and ask us to be strong and to fight for Eatonville. This agreement gives the school district the benefits and value it needs to be able to convey the property. And the town divides the plan, but they are not responsible for funding and can lean on the network of Dr. Phillips' relationships. To me, this is a win-win. And for those asking for a 90-day delay, that might seem reasonable, but there are real risks in not moving forward with this agreement today. The days of allowing property to exist in surplus of a school board are over. With changes and potential changes to the law, leaving this land as surplus puts it at risk for being taken by a privately operated charter school company, or worse, potentially the state of Florida. And if that happens, the Orange County School Board and the town both lose the ability to protect this land and develop it for the benefit of the town. I can also not ignore the history of the school boards and the town's attempts to move this property out of school district control and back to the town. We talked at the last work session about 8 extensions given to the town. We talked about the school district putting out a request for bids to help develop the town in the way that the town requested, and for it to ultimately fail. And delaying also ignores the work of the town residents through the workshop. You know, we're in the business of operating schools, not developing property. As was mentioned today, the town of Eatonville exists because of partnerships. The Hungerford School existed because of partnerships. And the process in developing the partnership with Dr. Phillips was imperfect. I acknowledge that. And I understand the concern that some feel about the Dr. Phillips partnership. But I believe that it is another strong partnership that will enable the town to grow and prosper. And it won't be without accountability. And I believe there should be constant vigilance, review of finances, and real opportunities for consideration given to the advisory council. And it is my hope that as we move forward, there will be a strong working relationship between the town council and Dr. Phillips that is based on trust and collaboration. This property is not an heirloom. The people of Eatonville deserve progress and the benefits of this land development. And that is why I will vote in favor of this agreement. I care deeply about the preservation and progress of Eatonville, and I believe this agreement aligns with those values. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Panos. Member Gallo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't think I could say it better than how Member Vanos just said what she said. So I'll make this very brief. I will be supporting this. I will be supporting this on the agenda tonight. I think that Dr. Phillips Charities coming in does provide the opportunities that Eatonville is looking for. I believe in collaboration. I think there will be collaboration. We as a board have encouraged collaboration. If there needs to be amendments or changes made to the contract at a work session, we all said that we are amenable to that we want what's best for the town of Eatonville. So if what is written right now, they come to the conclusion it's not a good fit, then we can revisit that and make changes as needed through the collaboration between Eatonville and Dr. Phillips. And I do believe at the end of it all that Eatonville will be prosperous. They will have a sustainable tax base, and they will be able to move forward with this property. So I want to thank everybody that came out tonight, the town council, and everybody who shared their concerns with us. And I also want to say how proud I am that we were able to reach a decision with the Gatlin property. That's an example of when we all come together, good things happen, and I'm glad that we were able to find a way to make that work and remove the buildings and provide a park for that area. So congratulations, and I look forward to voting for that as well. Thank you.
Member Ferrant, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I also wanted to share about the Fort Gatlin property, and so thankful for the Fort Gatlin community that came out tonight and has really put on one of the best campaigns in the area to really showcase the concern from residents wanting to make sure that this property turns into a park. Extremely thankful. Mr. Willard, I hope you will share with your client that we are beyond grateful for his generosity to come together for the community, for the good of the community. I know with young kids myself, I love parks, and this is something that young families will love, and as well as all ages, being able to walk to the park, see this, and have it really the eyesore that has been on this property for too long. We are very, very thankful. I'm extremely thankful to Commissioner Uribe for all of her work and effort at the county. I know that there has been a little bit of a concern with continuing maintaining like a historic aspect of the property. And so Commissioner Uribe and I have been in discussion with that. That will go during the rezoning to make it a park. I know the community would really love, at least the historic Fort Gatlin community would love for it to have an aspect of it to be historic, or even be able to be there be in attendance as it gets excavated to see if there are artifacts. Pretty amazing. If you don't know the history of Fort Gatlin, I encourage you to take a Google search and just check it out. Pretty awesome. It was the very first area that was that created Orlando. Fort Gatlin is where Orlando started. Very amazing history, and I think something that our students be really cool for them to be able to learn about that as well, and just the history that we have here. And so thank you again for being here, Mr. Willard. Thank you for being here and representing your client, Fort Gatlin community, for everything you guys have done, and just the communication back and forth. It's been really fun to work with each of you. And then I just wanted to transition real quick to Eatonville. Thank you all for coming tonight. And this really has been a long history, a long discussion. I've been on the board almost 4 years, and something that's continually been on the discussion. A lot of pausing, giving those like a 90-day, giving 6 months, giving a year, constant kind of just putting it back in Eatonville's court to come up with a plan or come up with something that would work. And when this came about, where Dr. Phillips Charities has come forward to want to partner, this is literally going to be incredible for your community. The amount of Eatonville residents who have come here from we had a young boy all the way to older grandparents, Eatonville residents who have come here saying, please do this. We want this for our town. I know that not everybody will see the same, but very, very thankful. Thank you again, Dr. Phillips Charities, for your generosity and wanting to partner. I actually just drove through the packing district 2 days ago. Highly impressed. My goodness, it's been about a year since I'd been through there, and what you've done to transform that area, and what really had been, again, another kind of eyesore of Orlando, fully transformed. And so to see that, I'm so excited and hopeful for what you will bring along in collaboration with the town of Eatonville and the residents to really make a huge impact. So thank you again, and thank you to everyone who is here tonight.
Thank you, Member Front. It's hard to say much more than Member Vanos did. I think that your recap of the situation and your assessment, I completely agree with maybe one minor exception, and because I hear this a lot in the town, and it may seem like an indistinguishable difference, but factually, the property was never owned by the town of Eatonville. And again, at the end of the day, I don't know that that's all that material, but I do think that when people feel like it was taken and not given back, that's just not a reality. It was owned by Charles Hungerford. He, through his trust and his family's interest in making sure there was a way for, at the time it was, I think, only males, but African-American males to have education. They they gave the money to acquire the land and build a boarding school. And I don't remember the exact year, but at some time, was it 1951? What year was it? 1951. the school district acquired the property from the trust. Again, the trust was from Mr. Hungerford. And so over the years, Orange County has operated a school on the property, a Hungerford Elementary School. Dr. Vasquez, can you speak to the issue of education and the availability of education to our students that are in Eatonville? Because, I mean, there was a comment that there are no schools in Eatonville.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We currently have Hungerford Elementary, which is a gem in the community. It is benefiting from partnerships with different agencies, including travel and leisure. Students that attend there also have the advantage of preschool services to them, and also have opportunities for different magnet programs, or their zone middle schools of College Park Middle, Lockhart Middle, and Maitland Middle offer opportunities for them to explore. And then their zoned high school is Edgewater High School. And so we expect that through the partnership, there will be other opportunities both for early childhood, both for various industry certifications, and for our students to be able to benefit from the different services and potential new aspects of the town with the land.
All right, thank you. I also do want to clarify for anybody who's perhaps your first time here, the issue of a museum has been something that's been very important to the town. There was an opportunity a couple of years back for state funding for a museum, and I can't for the life of me understand how, I think Jacksonville, if I'm not mistaken, Sarasota, St. Augustine. How St. Augustine won that grant as opposed to Eatonville is beyond my comprehension, but part of the plan that Dr. Phillips, working with the town through the community meetings that were explained by Member Vanos, a part of that is to build that museum. And discussion about tax base is extremely important, absolutely extremely important. The assets that Dr. Phillips is obligated to build according to this contract take up a very small number of acres. This is over a 100-acre parcel, so the vast majority of this land will be decided through collaboration between Dr. Phillips, charities, the town council, to work together to decide what is in the best interest of the town. And other comments that I want to be clear on. I think there was some confusion over the number of contracts. I think Mr. Palmerini, in our last meeting, you referenced, if you would, the 8. Go ahead.
So thank you, Madam Chair. Member Vanos stated this in her comments too, but there was a contract in 2010 for the purchase of the property that we have with the town of Eatonville. There were 8 separate extensions granted to the town of Eatonville over a 9-year period that this board granted in order to allow for the closing to go on. The closing failed in March of 2019 because there was not closing. And then there was a second contract in 2019, September 2019. We put out 3 separate requests for proposal to get a developer to come develop the property. The proceeds of the sale would come to us, and with some portion of it going to the town of Eatonville. And after the 3rd request for proposal, the developer was awarded the contract. The developer needed some comprehensive plan changes in order to develop the property, and those were denied by the town of Eatonville. So there were 2 contracts, but there were numerous extensions on both contracts within those periods.
Thank you. One other comment in terms of the purchase price. The $1 million is essentially a down payment made at the time the contract is signed. The actual price of the property is $14 million. The remainder, the $13 million, is due unless Dr. Phillips Charities builds the certain venues that have been established and meets the criteria by the deadline that's been established. So parts of that 13 million get forgiven as they honor their commitment. And if they don't, there's provisions for that. So I just wanted to make sure that nobody walked out of here thinking that it was a $1 million contract. And then I think the last, this isn't a clarification or correction, but a reference to there being some sort of an ethics or a conflict of interest. I'm not familiar with that. I would certainly, if there is evidence or anything that you can provide us with, Councilwoman, I would definitely want to take a look at that because that's extremely important to us. But I'm not aware of it, so I would appreciate you and I maybe having an opportunity to talk about that. Thank you. With that, if there's no, we have one more board member, Member Felder. Let me go to you.
Thank you. I just wanted just a little clarification. I remember, first of all, thank you for all of the commentary that came. Also with Fort Gatlin, I was excited to know that we were able to preserve that area historically. I remember Fort Gatlin, and I am happy about that. Also, I do remember when I came on the board in 2020, there was conversation prior to that regarding Eatonville and the property. And I just want to get some clarification that is there not, John, some sort of law where if there's property that school board districts own, and we do own that property, it was, you know, we got it straight out, it's ours. Isn't there a law, if there is a law, where you can't just give the property? Could you go over that with me, please?
Thank you, Madam Member Felder, members of the board. So there was two separate statutes. The statute that we're going under tonight is 1013-28, and it says a couple things. One, it says, subject to the rules of the State Board of Education, a district school board may dispose of any land or real property to which the board holds title, which by resolution of the board is determined to be unnecessary for educational purposes as recommended in an education plan survey. By the way, thank you, because this was going to dovetail into what I was actually going to say. So by resolution tonight, we have a separate item 1503 where we have updated our educational plant survey with the state to surplus all of the property at issue. This board surplused all of the property that we're disposing of tonight by MOU on September 30th and by board action on September 30th. But we are updating the plant survey with DOE tonight. And so we're reaffirming by your action on the consent agenda that we are disposing this property that is no longer needed for educational purposes. So that's part one of the statute. So, and then it says that the school board shall take diligent measures to dispose of educational property only in the best interest of the public. So in the best interest of the public is we have to get compensation for that property. Now, as the chair said, we have a contract here that is for $14 million. We are forgiving $13 million of the price to the extent that certain milestones are met, which is building of the early learning center, which is going to benefit the school district because our kids will come in better educated when they get to Hungerford Elementary School. We are forgiving a portion of the purchase price for the building of a community hub and healthcare facility. We're going to get benefit for that, and it's in the best interest of the public because those students will come to school healthier. They'll miss less school because they're going to go to those healthcare facilities on the property. We are forgiving a portion of the price for the construction of a green space and a community pavilion. Our kids will get benefit because they will get to use those facilities. I'm certain the town will host things for the benefit of our children at those facilities, thereby providing an educational benefit to our students. It's in the best interest of the public that we do that. There's also going to be donation of land to the town for the new town hall building that they could build and a museum. The museum has a benefit for us because, and as part of the commitment, to the extent we can and it's permitted by law, which we think it is, our students would get to go to that history museum within the town for free. That would be certainly an educational benefit for our children for them to do that. Also in this contract is the provision of affordable housing. And to be clear, the contract talks about both single family and multifamily housing. The contract does give preference not only to our educational, instructional employees, our support employees. For the single family homes, it gives preference to those residents then living in the town of Eatonville and for first responders employed by the town of Eatonville. But certainly there is a benefit to us, and it's in the best interest of the public for us to have housing built so we can obtain and retain teachers. One of the barriers for us obtaining and retaining teachers is affordable housing within Orange County. And to the extent that our folks get priority for affordable housing, that's of educational benefit to us. It's in the best interest of the public for us to get those teachers. So all of that goes to say is, while we are forgiving portions of the purchase price, we are getting educational benefit for our students. We're getting benefit for our employees that in the end, long run, will make up for the value that we are forgiving. It will be beneficial for us to have all of those things go on. But when we have a valuable piece of property, for us to just give it away, that is not what is contemplated by the statutes. It's not contemplated that we don't get value on it. Member Vanos and I have talked about the lease purchase agreement that was at issue. You know, I think that skirts the intent and spirit of the law, but as she said, reasonable people can have discussions with respect to the lease purchase agreement. But for a straight up giving the property away, I don't believe the statute allows us to do that. We've structured this deal in such a way that we are going to get the purchase price. And by the way, just to make this clear for everybody here, looked up, there were some questions about the value of this property, right? So I went on the property appraiser's website and looked up the market value of these parcels. It's roughly $14 million. So the purchase price that we are getting is roughly equivalent to what the property appraiser values the market value of this property. So, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
I needed you to do what you just did. I needed that explanation, that clarity. That's so important, that those who are listening understand that this is what we're doing and why we're doing it. And because we, as a board district in the state of Florida, there are so many things that we have to make sure that is happening so that we can remain an effective working board. I so do not want the state or some random charter school to come with property that's been in the hands of people of color for hundreds of years, 100 or more years, to come and take it. And then, because we are bound by statute to obey the laws that are sent down from the Florida State Legislature, we have to do, our policies are made based on the policies that come from the governor and the state legislature. And so while we have this in our power, and we do, we must do the best that we can to make sure that we all are winners. And you so beautifully explained and broke down what we're going to do, because the promise was we get the land and we have it, that it was going to be used for educational purposes. I remember the inception of the Zora Neale Hurston Festival. I worked with NY in the theory, and the vision that the Eatonville people had with NY to do what they did with the Zora Festival was beautiful. And it's consistently and steadily growing and doing so well. If we were to not take away our hands and somebody just come and stop all of that, that's what would happen. So I'm saying I'm in favor. I'm appreciative the Dr. Phillips Charity, because MOU says they're going to do what they say they're going to do. If they don't, then we can come back and deal with it. So I appreciate that we're going to hold on to that land. And the residents that are there, they have input of how their centers, their museums, their school, all of that. They'll have all of that within their power, but we have the funds with the Dr. Phillips Charities to do that, because, they promised us 40 acres and a mule. All we got is our land. So if we're going to use it to benefit, and there's possibility to help us do just that, we must do just that. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Felder. Member Salamanca.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I will also be voting in support of this, as some of my fellow board members mentioned. This is something that's been a discussion for years. As our general counsel mentioned, there was 8 extensions on what we could do with this land, or what the town of Eatonville would propose to us. 8 extensions for them to propose something to us. On top of that, there were 3 different times of proposals for requests for folks, anyone out there, developers, community leaders, the town, to tell this school board what are ways that they would want to develop or support with this land. There has never been any one solution that has been presented to us, or that we have discussed or seriously considered, including the museum, that had full agreement. There was always folks who were against and pro the various proposals, including within the same town of Eatonville. And the Dr. Phillips Foundation is a nonprofit who spent over a year having community meetings from the grassroots of folks designing their own plans of things that they wanted, of which is what came about, right? It is an educational center. It is a museum. It's a healthcare hub. It is affordable housing for the citizens as well as public servants. We have had folks who've wanted to develop this land for for-profit reasons. We've also had folks that had very specific points of view on how to do this. And it's really, we're never going to have a solution or a correct answer to all of this that fits every criteria by every stakeholder. That is the really tough part of doing public policy. But what this board is really saying with this decision and with this vote today is that the cost of inaction, the cost of another 8 extensions, the cost of going back to a request for a proposal is really high. It's higher than it's ever been over the last decades that we have held this land. The cost of us not voting for this today and doing nothing is, 1, losing a nonprofit organization with a long record of doing really great work in our city. And 2nd, that the state of Florida does whatever it wants with this surplus land and nobody gets a say. That is a really high cost that I am not willing to take when I have a really incredible opportunity that does have the input of the community and folks that have come to us and said, we do support this. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. And this is just the beginning of a process for input. And so what I say to all the folks that maybe just found out about this last night and are getting caught up, right? We have years and decades of this information. So your best use of time, resources, and advocacy, which we welcome, is spent in the process that's about to begin on how to develop and work with Dr. Phillips Foundation and the community to better refine and have accountability for what goes with this land. But inaction is a choice, and a really costly choice that I won't be making today, and I will be supporting and pushing this forward. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Salamanca. Member Douglas.
Well, the other school members have, school board members have said a lot. I just wanted to say what matters to me is the collaboration with Dr. Phillips Charities. This is very important. Let's ensure that the people of Eatonville are included in the decision making. They're part of the process, and they feel like they are also part of the transformation of Eatonville. So yes, I'm also in agreement with what they're saying. However, just let's want to make sure that the historical city of Edenville keeps that authenticity that they have. They are, historical black city, and I would like it to remain so, to have that flair. When we go to Edenville, we can feel that we are in somewhere different, in the middle of Orlando. If we can keep that, I think that will be a wonderful thing. So I just want to conclude that I agree with them, and I just want to make sure that collaboration persists and resists and stays with the city of the people of Edenville. So that's my take on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Member Douglas. All right, I'm going to call for the vote in just a minute. I do want to, Mr. Willett, I'm sure you will probably get up and hit the road as soon as this is over. I can guarantee you this is going to vote. Pass very, but I want to thank you for taking this cause on. I know you have a client. I have no idea who it is. Please tell your client how much I appreciate it. This is very, very important to the nearby community. And we have struggled for years with the federal government to get to the point where we could do something with the property. And then once we had it, it was, what are we going to do? And the county, as you know, wasn't at the place of taking the bull by the horns. And we're really grateful that your client is. Thank you. Okay. I will call for the question. Mr. Palmerini, before I do that, I think there's an important component of the motion. If you would address that, please.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make sure that when the members of the board vote on to approve the consent agenda, that it encompasses the legal requirements for the purchase and sale of the property. So by voting for the consent agenda, you are adopting the statement that it's in the best interest of the public, as I've described it to you tonight, to make this deal, that you are reaffirming that all of the property here is a surplus in accordance with the spot survey that you're also approving as item 1503, and that you are approving the purchase and sale agreement. So your vote on item 1504 encompasses your finding that this is in the best interest of the public, that all the property is surplus, and that the purchase and sale agreement is made.
All right. I will entertain a motion. Member Ferrant? So moved, incorporating all of the that Mr. Palmerini just said, and a second by Member Vanos. Yes. Sorry about that. Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. I do want to make one comment before we move on to the next item on the agenda. However anybody feels about how we got here, there's a huge process ahead of us, and I would encourage everyone to work together with Dr. Phillips Charities. A lot of collaboration, a lot of decisions, important decisions to be made, and we can only make them if everybody who has a voice shows up with that spirit of collaboration. And with that, we will move on to our next item. Dr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do want to personally thank Board Member Vanos. She came to the board newbie and really found that this was an issue that our board had been dealing with. She was so engaged in the community meetings, really talking to the residents and getting to the heart of what was in the best interest of the town. And I know that coming in as a new board member, it was a difficult transition, but I applaud your engagement in the community and how invested you were to ensure that this board was well informed and that we were able to make the best decision for our children in our community. So thank you.
The next item on the agenda.
Next item is 17.01. So, did you want to say anything on it before?
Madam Chair, may I, or your?
Please.
Yes, okay. So we are on item 17.01. I am going to ask if Allison Kibbe is still here, if she doesn't mind coming up, in case there are questions. I would ask her to, for the benefit of the public and those that are here, I'd like for her to just give a brief overview of why we are here, outlining the challenge process and what we are expecting of our board today.
Madam Chair and Ms. Kibbe, could you, Madam Chair, we have 3 speakers on this item. Would you care to take the speakers first before, or would you rather hear from Ms. Kibbe first? At the board's pleasure.
Thank you. Much appreciated for the lowering. So the reason we're here tonight is for the school board to share their recommendation about the books Do Animals Fall in Love? It is a book that we had 3 copies of within the district in middle school libraries. So the book immediately went to a district literacy council for review because of how the challenge form was completed. The District Literacy Council met on November 7th, 2025, and they recommended to retain the book. Just to provide a bit of an overview of what the District Literacy Council process is like, we select random members who apply to be part of the District Literacy Council from throughout the community. They identify the area of their expertise, whether it be elementary school, middle school, or high school. And so we form various committees that we have at the ready for elementary, for middle school, and for high school. So this was a middle school committee and involved a principal, a media specialist, a classroom teacher, a parent, and a school counselor. They met. The District Literacy Council meeting is something where I am merely a facilitator, and then 2 of my team members take minutes in accordance with the Sunshine Laws. And we really turn this over to the District Literacy Council and we say, this is your time to discuss. We provide a guiding checklist of sorts so that the members of the District Literacy Council kind of have specific things to think about and consider as they have a discussion. And it's always a very rich discussion. It is like going to the most well-read book club you've ever been to. It's very, very thoughtful, and everybody on the District Literacy Council understands the magnitude of what their decision is going to be and how that affects students in our district. Does that cover everything, Dr. Vasquez?
Thank you so much. That does cover. We don't do this very often, and so I wanted
on the spot.
members of the public and those that are here to understand the process. So, Madam Chair, we will now allow the board to have conversation.
I think the board would probably like to hear from the public first.
Sure.
Okay, let's do that. Thank you. Ms. Kibbe, thank you very much. That was very helpful. All right, our first speaker.
We have 3 speakers. First speaker is Colson Fry, followed by Stefana Farrell and Teresa Millay.
Good evening again. My name is Colson Fry. I'm speaking as an Orange County community member and Sea Alliance organizer again. I want to say plainly that it's frustrating that in 2026 we are still spending board time debating individual library books while far more serious threats to public education are actively advancing. Our schools are under pressure from forced charter expansions, schools of hope co-location, and policies that strip resources and control away from local communities. These are structural threats that close schools, destabilize neighborhoods, and permanently reshape public education. Compared to that, debating whether a professionally reviewed book belongs on a library shelf is misplaced. It's a distraction. The District Literary Council reviewed this material and recommended that it remain available. That process worked as designed. Relitigating it at the board level pulls attention away from defending public schools against policies that actually undermine them. Libraries do not force content on students. Schools of hope force decisions on communities. One expands access to information while the other removes local control. If we care about protecting students, educators, and public education itself, this board needs to focus on the real fights, not endless cycles of censorship that consume time, energy, and trust. I urge you to uphold the professional recommendation, retain this book, and keep your attention on defending public education from policies that truly threaten its future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your next speaker is Stefana Farrell.
Hi, Board. Stefana Farrell, 34787. I am a current OCPS parent of a middle school student, and I strongly support retaining Do Animals Fall in Love in the school library. The challenge before you seeks to permanently remove access to this book for my child and the overwhelming majority of OCPS middle school students whose families have not placed reading restrictions on them. A reasonable compromise already exists. Individual parents may restrict access for their own children, and in this case, the objector does not even have a child with access to this book in one of our schools. When Senator Gruters made his closing argument in defense of HB 1467 back in 2022, he said one person may object to a book, but the community will decide the outcome. The review committee unanimously recommended retention and specifically noted the book's educational value and alignment with 6th and 7th grade science standards. I agree with that conclusion. Last year, my son, in 6th grade, studied asexual and sexual reproduction in 6th grade's life science class. And he observed animal behavior firsthand at a class field trip to Animal Kingdom. The content of this book is age appropriate, factual, and well within students' ability to understand. Finally, both Judge Mendoza's ruling and the Florida Department of Education's 2024 update to the Principles of Professional Conduct recognize the harm caused when students are denied access to educationally sound, age-appropriate materials. Why threaten a principal's certification for preventing students from accessing materials in the library, if not for acknowledging that students are harmed by that act? Retaining this book respects students' educational needs, parental choice, and the professional judgment already exercised by the district. Please uphold the committee's decision to retain. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell. All right, we have one more speaker. Is that correct?
Teresa Millay.
Okay, I believe she's left. Okay, floor is open for a motion or discussion. Member Banos.
I am happy to have a discussion. I actually attended the review of this book. I heard the principal, the teacher, the school counselor, the media specialist, and the parent all discuss it. Some of the comments that stood out to me were just sharing that this book is, learning about things that students are already learning about middle school, characteristics of living things, that our schools have agricultural programs. Again, we're students. This is pertinent to that education. And so I will support retaining this book and respecting the community members' observations and conclusions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Member Farrant?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This book is highly concerning. Something that I've seen when we look at the committee review, something that is shared, it says that one of the members declared that the purpose of the book in question was to discuss animal reproduction, including animal courting, falling in love. They began discussing and referred to the statutes which discuss humans, not animals, and that the statute does not apply in this case because we cannot project human morality on animal behavior. However, the moment that the animals begin speaking like humans, it's different. So now it's a different story. This book, as we go through it, it is, I mean, whoever did the illustrations, cute drawings, but perversion all over it. There's absolutely no reason that we need to be promoting threesomes, masturbation. And so when I looked up all the 6th and 7th grade curriculum, at no time are students discussing masturbation, threesomes. They're taught about sexual, the act of reproduction, how that happens. A lot of it is discussed in generalities, but not with full color depictions and then of animals. So just really inappropriate as I read through it. Just on page 52, multiple partners. Again, they speak as if they're humans. I don't care if they're little ladybugs. It doesn't matter to me. The moment that you write this as if they are humans talking, you now have an 11-year-old. My son is in 5th grade, so I can imagine him being in 6th grade and being handed a book like this, or having access to a book like this where there is no adult here discussing this. And actually, one of the commenters in the discussion stated that, acknowledged that while some people might be uncomfortable with the topic, the book is not required reading, and if students have questions, well, this book can provide answers. Well, I'm sorry, but most parents that I talked to said that they would not want their child learning any of about sexual acts, anything that reproduction, as described in this book. It is perverted. It is inappropriate, highly inappropriate. And I'm so livid. I just think it's ridiculous that in this, as stated, in 2026, we still have people who are we have media specialists who have these books on hand for children as young as 3 years old. Or, excuse me, 3 years old, 11 years old. The only thing that I thought was cute in this book was the very ending of it. It begins to talk about the animals, like how they form inside of the mother. I thought that was really beautifully written. I think that was awesome. It talks about just even after that, how the mothers or the parents come alongside and take care of the animals. But everything else in here that comes before it, even the very first, hold on, let me get to it. The very first thing that kids will read, it says, "I like you." This chapter is called The Art of Seduction. I'm sorry, in 6th and 7th grade science curriculum, we are not teaching kids the art of seduction, which according to the Webster's Dictionary is the enticement of a person to sexual intercourse or temptation. Absolutely, this is filth. And if you're wondering why parents are leaving the district, this would be one of the reasons. And sadly, most parents don't even realize this filth is in their child's school. So I will be voting to remove this completely, all 4 copies.
All right. We don't have any further comments. Is there I'm sorry, member Salamanca. Did you just press that?
A little bit ago. It's all right. Thank you. Thank you. It is beyond this board on. I think it's not very productive to sexualize biology and science, because that's not what biology and science is. But you can always sexualize anything in our curriculum if that's how you interpret it. And I don't know. You can project whatever you want into biology and science, but that's still biology and science. I think overall, and this has been consistent with how I have voted with every single book, is we have a process that has been told to us as well as part of the legislature by elected officials and by the Department of Education, that those that know best are these committees composed of parents in these schools and composed of parents who have students in these schools. And I believe in parents' rights to what is best for their children's education. And I believe in the process of why we have these committees. Just because the outcome of a committee is not what I agree or disagree with does not make the process something that I'm against or for. I believe in the process. I believe in community input. I believe in parents' rights. The committee made a decision to retain this book. They felt it was appropriate for their students. They're okay with it. And I don't have a reason to see otherwise. So I'm not going to vote against a parent's own choice of what they want their students and kids to learn. That is a parent's rights. And I can agree or disagree with it, but that is their rights. And the legislature gave us a process outlined on what these committees are and community input, and that process has been met. And the point of this board is to say, did we meet the process or did we not? Not to debate the contents of these books. Either we believe that the parents know what's best for their kids, or we don't believe that the parents know what's best for their kids. But we don't get to choose just because the parents made a different decision than what we would have made for our kids, that suddenly this process is wrong, and that we actually want to nitpick at what books or what things we want or not. And so I think I'm all about the process on this one. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Member Salamanca. Member Gallo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree with Member Vanos and Member Salamanca. I believe in the process and the policy that we have put forward. I trust that process. I trust those that sat on that committee that deemed that this book was appropriate for the age group listed. It's anatomy, it's biology. If someone can tell me that anything in this book is not factual or not true or not anatomically correct, then I might have reached a different decision. But this is just talking about animals and how animals reproduce. It is just anatomy, and when we take biology and anatomy and we make it filthy or gross or disgusting, it's disheartening. I don't view it that way. I view it as the cycle of life. This is what happens. This is what happened in the world. This is how God created us. So I will be voting to uphold the committee's decision as well. Thank you.
I was hoping we weren't going to debate this. There's some things we're just not going to agree on. And I'm trying really hard to stick to what is my vote. Member Ferrant.
Thank you. One question that I have then for the superintendent, at any time in our 6th, 7th, or 8th grade curriculum for science, are students learning about a masturbation or threesomes?
No, those are not part of the standards.
Okay, so if they're not part of the standards, why are we allowing those this book to have topics of that nature, to introduce these topics to students, other people's children? Books are there in our library to accompany and to be an added bonus to the standards that we are teaching, not to introduce new standards. So I'd like the board to think of that when you make this decision. But one thing that was stated by one of the speakers, that they said that there are far more serious threats out there than reviewing books. And for me, removing sexually inappropriate content is a threat to the innocence of our children. And I've been elected by parents of my district to protect the minds of our children. And there is nothing greater and no hill that I wouldn't stand on and die on, but to protect the innocence of children. And when I look at this book, and it's just amazing to me that adults here just say, well, it's animal reproduction, no big deal. I'm all for animal reproduction. You show them the more age appropriate, just in generalities. But when you begin to put human terminology on them, on page 46 about the rat and how he just can't get enough sex and we got to have sex all day. And it's just so amazing. On page 48, the lion, as he's the girl lion saying, help, I need a break. These are all, we're putting human terminology into this. And when we put as if they're humans, now we have students, it's off topic of what the standard is being taught. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Felder?
Thank you. I remember when I was about 12 years old, my dad took me to a ranch in Oklahoma. Ocala. He was raised in a place called Shady Grove. I remember the first time I saw cows mating. I'm 69 years old, and that sight has not left my mind even today. However, it was nothing my parents could do to blind me from seeing that. You can walk down the street, you can be shopping if it's mating season for dogs, or you could be at your home at night if it's mating season for cats, the noises they make. I mean, it happens. It happens. And, it happens. But I believe, and we can't control that. Your kid may ask you, as I asked my mom and dad, what was going on, because it was devastating. However, I believe that, and I've always believed the fact that parents can choose. You can choose. And if you don't want your child to read that book, then you have the choice to not allow them. But I don't think that we should choose for other parents, because it is your responsibility, your moral responsibility, to teach your children the morality that you live in as a parent or as parents. That is your responsibility. It is not my responsibility to infringe my morality thoughts on others unless you ask. You ask me why I believe the way that I believe or why I behave the way I behave, then I can give you that answer. But when I'm in an environment where there are people from all walks of life, I must trust the fact that choice. I speak vehemently about that because there was a time in history when people that looked like me didn't have a choice. But I now walk in a choice. You have a choice, and I will stand on that. I want to keep my choice, and I will keep my choice. So I still believe in choice for parents. Thank you.
Okay. Is there a motion? Member Banos.
I move to adopt the recommendation of the committee, the review committee for Do Animals Fall in Love, to retain this book.
We have a motion by Member Banos. Do we have a second? We have a second by Member Byrd. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. All right. So the motion passes with majority voting in the affirmative, with Member Ferrant and myself voting in opposition. I'll speak to this very quickly. I did not want to debate it. I certainly don't think this is some book that needs to be burned or anything. It's not, doesn't fall in that category. I think just so that our media specialists who might be watching, I feel like there are so many choices that we can make in terms of books, and this, I just don't, I can't believe that there's not a better choice. So I know we can't expect that we all agree on what that right choice should be. I will tell you why one big disappointment. When I saw the title, I was looking forward to reading it because I've often, you hear about elephants and how they mourn when one dies, and different types of animals that, even my own dogs, I just lost one, and the other one, I swear, if my dogs aren't in love, I don't know, because they just, and they love me, and I know they feel that. So I thought I was going to be reading a little bit more about the emotional attachments of these animals, and so I was kind of like stunned because it had nothing to do with love, and which left me thinking that if I'm picking up a book to read about love and I'm reading about nothing but sex, which is not the same as love, I was struggled with that. And then I started thinking, okay, we've got female animals that are eating the male, which left me just going, this is not love. Anyhow, just an insight into my head. It's a weird place, is all I can tell you. It's just a weird place up there. So this isn't something that I do wish we hadn't had to spend time debating. So, but we do. And so part of the process, and this will be my one debate, part of the process is we're part of the process. So I would have loved if we didn't have any of this, but we do, and we still sit here and we're still part of the process, and we still have to vote. So I voted the way I think, but I certainly respect where y'all are coming from, because this is not, I could fall either way. All right, enough of me. Let's go on to our last item on the agenda.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Last item on the agenda this evening is the approval of the application for Wild Oaks Preparatory Academy Charter School. Wow, that's a lot. We have Mr. Greg Moody, who will introduce his staff, who will then give us information about the application and then be ready to answer any questions the board might have.
All right.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent, Board Chair, board members. It's always a pleasure to be before you. I'd like to introduce our fantastic, pardon me, maybe I can't speak tonight, our fantastic charter team. We have Dr. Kia Scott, Gina Dole, and Margaret Olmo. And Kia Scott is going to walk us through this agenda
Greg,
item 1702.
Mr.
It's old age or something.
Moody? Yeah. Thank you for doing that, because it makes me feel better, because I have those moments where I almost can't remember. Yeah, I can't figure out whether to call my husband by his name or one of the kids or one of the dogs. So there you go.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members, and superintendent. This evening, we bring before you Board Item 17.02, requesting approval of the application for Wild Oaks Preparatory Academy Charter School. Wild Oaks Preparatory Academy submitted an application seeking sponsorship for enrollment capacity of up to 1,535 students in grades kindergarten through 12th. The application was submitted on October 21st, 2025. The district convened a review panel composed of administrators and staff with expertise in charter school application review, as well as specialized knowledge in areas such as exceptional student education, curriculum development, student services and guidance, assessment, and accountability. The charter application was reviewed in accordance with the Florida Department of Education's Model Charter School Application Evaluation Instrument, as required by statute. A school board work session was held on November 18th, 2025, where the applicant was able to present the concept of the proposed school, as well as participate in a question and answer session. Following a comprehensive review and in adherence to statutory requirements, the district finds sufficient grounds to conclude that Wild Oaks Preparatory Academy Charter School has met the criteria established under Florida Statute 1002.33. The required application components necessary for the effective administration and operation of a charter school have been appropriately addressed. We are therefore recommending approval of the application for Wild Oaks Preparatory Academy Charter School. Thank you. Dr. Vasquez?
Thank you so much. And now, Madam Chair, we're ready to answer any questions or have the board provide comments.
All right. Member Vanos, you're recognized.
It's been a long night. I just have a couple of questions. Thank you so much for describing the evaluation tool, and I just wanted to ask Mr. Palmerini if the charter school meets all of the requirements under 1002.33, does the school board have any discretion to deny this application?
No, you'll get overturned immediately by the Charter School Appeals Commission if you do.
Okay, so in essence, we have to vote a yes here.
Yeah, this board can, let me back up and make sure I am clear. This board could always choose to vote no on the application. There are 21 separate categories. I think on 20 categories they have been rated by our staff as meets the standard, one which is partially meets the standard, which we can take care of in contract negotiations. If this board were to vote no tonight, it would be appealed to the Charter School Appeals Commission. In my experience in front of the Charter School Appeals Commission, and Dr. Scott has sat on the Charter School Appeals Commission, so I'm sure she can back me up. If the Charter School Appeals Commission sees us deny an application where 20 out of the 21 categories were rated as meets the standard and one is rated as partially meets the standard, in our experience, the Charter School Appeals Commission has overturned that and done so very quickly. So while the board has the option to vote no, I would not recommend it, and I think if we were to vote no, it would be overturned. So I apologize for not giving that longer explanation first and cutting straight to it, but I would not recommend a no vote from a legal standpoint.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I would just encourage, there was a work session, as was mentioned, on November 18th, and would encourage people to go back and to listen to the questions that were posed to this charter school company. Staff asked questions at timestamp 340, and board members asked questions at timestamp 354. And I would just be remiss if I didn't point out three really important points I think that were raised that we're not even able to consider in this vote. One of the school board members whose district this charter school will be in raised a point about not really needing this school to support the population there, and that it may conflict with the long-term planning of OCPS for schools that we have had planned for that area, but that can't even be part of our conversation. Another school board member brought up concerns, and that was me, about the fact that the developer of this property will own this land and will own this school that is paid for with taxpayer dollars, even if the school closes. And another board member astutely pointed out that there's really no difference between what this charter school even articulates that it is offering and what OCPS offers, so I'm not sure where the innovation piece is. But those, I think, important points can't even be part of this conversation of approval, so I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
All right. Any, no further questions? Is there a motion? We have a motion of approval by Member Ferrand. Do we have a second? Second by Member Gallo. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. All right. This is terrible. Dr. Vasquez, you have a report for the board.
I look at the clock and I feel like it's been such much longer night.
Right.
So I am going to just, I just have one celebration this evening. Graduation rates were released today from the state. And I am elated and thankful to the work of our teachers, support staff, our administrators, district staff, parents, our students, that our traditional graduation rate, our overall graduation rate, which includes all of the schools, the charters, for the very first time, is over 90%. I am proud to say that we are at 92.7% graduation.
And over it.
And the graduation rate for our traditional schools, traditional high schools, 97.2%. So thank you all that are, working each and every day in those classrooms, supporting our students, our families that choose OCPS. This is just an incredible testament to what a great school system we have. So that is my report, Madam Chair.
Oh my gosh, I literally have goosebumps. That is incredible. Whoa. All right, the board's lit up. Are these related to, or should I hear from John? Okay, John, Mr. Pomeraney.
I'm just going to be very brief. I had Sergio Ruiz in here from my staff and Chris Wilson. Sergio said he was going to call it a night. He's been putting in a lot of time and hours both on the Dr. Phillips agreement and the Fort Gatlin agreement. So I wanted to personally thank him and Chris Wilson for all of their hard work getting these agreements across. It was negotiating with both of those parties. We had to take care of some issues, and they did a superb job, and I just wanted to thank them publicly for the work they did on it. So that's it for me.
Thank you, John. Member Byrd.
I was just going to comment on or congratulate Ocoee High School for being one of the top 3 graduation rates in the district, with 99.2% graduation rate. So, yay, Ocoee. That was it.
Yes. Where's yours?
No, but you're included, so I'll see if I find it before the end of the meeting.
Member Gallo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have just a few things to report. Number one, the Legislative Committee did meet last week, and it was approved tonight on our consent agenda. We did add a blurb about the Schools of Hope, asking for clarification and more guardrails around charter schools being able to move into our buildings. So that gives the authority to Mr. McMiller to go up to Tallahassee and talk on our behalf, which I'm thrilled about. The second thing I wanted to bring up was that Senate Bill 318, which is the bill by Senator Gates that puts some accountability measures in the taxpayer-funded vouchers, is being heard on the Senate floor tomorrow. I know that we're going to put something out thanking Senator Gates, but I wanted to take a moment to personally thank Senator Gates for his hard work on this bill. It's a first step in the right direction towards transparency and accountability, so we know how this money is spent. We'll be able to track the students. I think the Audit General found that 30,000 students were unable to be found last school year, and this will prevent that from happening this year. So I encourage all to reach out to your senator and encourage them to vote yes on this. It did pass appropriation unanimously. This is a bipartisan bill, and I would also encourage everybody, if anybody's still paying attention, to please reach out to your Florida House rep and encourage them to support this bill. When it comes to the House, there is no companion, so I'd also encourage them to work with their education committees to create a bill to support Senator Gates's good work. It's a first step. We still need some more. We need still to make sure that kids are learning and that there's accountability around academics. But this is a great first step, and I applaud Senator Gates for his work on this measure. The second thing I wanted to bring up is on last Friday night, three of the board members here went to a meeting for Orange Center Elementary, and it was where they were having conversations about converting it to the charter school. The vote is happening this week, all week long, and then the votes will be tallied and discussed next week. So if you're an Orange Center Elementary parent, I encourage you to please vote. It's been all over the news. Lift Orlando's done a really great job of getting the word out. So we're thrilled for this community. We're thrilled for this to become a charter. They had a photo booth, so I did bring, you can't see them, I did bring some pictures. So here, I don't know. We were having a good time at the dinner with the Orange Center families. And so here's just a few pictures. We got in front of the photo booth, and we were having a good time for ourselves. So I just encourage everybody that is a member of Orange Center to please take time out this week to vote. And I'm so looking forward to the partnership with Lyft and all the good things that will come from that partnership. And that's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Member Gallo. Member Douglas.
I just wanted to say how elated and proud to be in OCPS. Oh, sorry, I thought I did. How elated and proud to be in OCPS, to be part of OCPS. This is a testament of how wonderful our teachers and staff are, and the performance that they've done this year with the graduation rate is absolutely outstanding. And incidentally, I would like to mention that Windermere High School, which is one of my schools, is actually the second at 99.5% in graduation rate. So we are one of the best districts, if it's not the best. And I just absolutely just in the clouds to know that. And, just to see that people are talking about, our district and how, we're not performing well and all this nonsense that we usually hearing. This is a fact. This is a fact that we can rely on. And I'm just really proud of it. Thank you, Superintendent. You have done a good job as well. And all these wonderful people in the back, congratulations to all of you. And parents, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, Member Douglas. Member Ferrant.
Madam Chair, I wanted to jump on the congratulations wagon here and say just a shout out to all the schools who have worked so incredibly hard for this high achievement with our graduation rate. And, as I look at our schools and I'm thankful for the teachers. I'm thankful for the direction that the district is heading with, just really that high achievement with academics and keeping academics at the top priority, which is really why we're all here. So, but I want to encourage parents as well, because parent involvement is really where it's at. When parents are involved in their kids' education, making sure that the assignments are in or checking in on how their day was, checking in to see what they're learning. And when you ask those kind of questions over dinner, it really helps your child to remember what they were learning in school and helps bring up those academic things that they did. And even while they're at school, then maybe they are thinking, hey, I can't wait to tell my parents about what we did today. It just creates this unity, and it helps to elevate that excitement in your own child. So encouraging parents, again, just make sure that you're involved, ask those great questions to your kids, and just stay involved with your school. That's where it's at. Parent involvement is really a top priority. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Ferrant. Member Felder.
Yes, thank you. What I'm going to say is a testament, I should say, to the greatness of traditional public schools. On last Monday, had the opportunity, January 7th, to along with Lyft, and Valencia Community College, one of the schools in my district, Jones High School, they offered the opportunity for every student, and I understand the thing went viral because people was calling me all over saying they saw it on TV. Say it went viral that every kid was given an opportunity, not only to just go to Valencia, if you want to go to trade school, if you want to go to on a program which takes 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 2 weeks, they were paying for it. And this is in a traditional public school. This opportunity was in a traditional public school. And then later on that day, that evening, I went over to Dr. Phillips and Horace Academy, a part of the Horace Construction out of Tampa. They came over, Evans and some other schools brought busloads of students, seniors, and they came over with their transcripts, and there were like 27 colleges from all over the country offered the children scholarships right on the spot, full ride, right on the spot. And so this is a testament of the wonderful, more than accolades that we have for traditional public schools, because had you not been in a traditional public school, you may not have had that opportunity. You may not even known about the opportunity. Your parents may not have known, and there were parents there with their children from all over the district to take advantage of that. So again, we were rated the second year as an A district. And you just mentioned all these schools already in January with a 90+% graduation rate. Thank God, we must be doing something right. The teachers, the principals, the students, something got to be working for us. And so I just, as Member Douglas said, she's so proud to be a part of this district. So am I. And I'm proud to say that I was educated in this district. My mama worked in this district as a teacher and a counselor and a dean. So I'm so grateful for OCPS. And, you know, it's not perfect. There are a lot of things that may need to improve, but that's what growth is all about. But I just want to encourage those of you that are on the line, trying to decide what you're going to do. The traditional public school is my vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Felder. Member Salamanca.
Okay, of course it's going to be here. Lake Nona High School was #1 in graduation rates. So District 2 obviously is going to celebrate this broadly. But no, really, I did also want to say thanks and congratulate our staff. Our teachers obviously do so much work to get a lot of our students prepared and through all the ups and downs that comes with the graduation requirements through the high school journey for many students. And I know one of the things about Lake Nona High School is we have a lot of students that come for the first time into this country and have to figure out, and it's a really high immigrant population, and figure out the school system and graduation requirements and really hit the ground running. And it is so impressive that that's kind of where the graduation area is for the school and other schools around the district, because we truly are a very diverse district with so many folks and different experiences and journeys of how they encounter our education system. And you know, obviously huge shout out to our superintendent and our district staff, Martinez, Brewster, who have really prioritized and continue to communicate that we're here to educate, and we have a really high bar for what we're here to do, and constantly remind this board to stay focused on the issues that matter most. And so thank you for that. It is incredibly difficult in today's environment where public education is really under attack, and both economically as well as in some other really systematic ways, to continue meeting these goals and exceeding them. And that is only possible because we have a superintendent and leadership at this district that cares above all else about academics and instruction. And that is not true for many other parts of this country. And so we are lucky. I do not take that for granted that we have a leader like Dr. Vasquez that continues to to do such an incredible job, and I'm very proud to be part of Orange County. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Salamanca. Well, that was exactly where I wanted to close. So I'm glad you said that. It takes everybody. It does take our parents to be engaged. It takes our students to be motivated. It's so cool to see our students motivating our students. What a great job on that, Superintendent. You got them all jazzed up about being inclusive. It is pretty cool. Every time we see them, it's neat. And you've put together just an excellent team. But it all does start at the top, and that's the board who chose you.
What?
Huh? Right?
Yeah, it is. No,
Yeah,
you do deserve the accolades because you provide the leadership to enable us to do the work that needs to be done, and you support our teachers, our staff, and so none of this would be possible without the phenomenal board. And I say that to my fellow superintendents quite often, that I am very lucky with the board that I have, that although we may not agree on everything, we do agree that students are our number one priority, and so I'm very thankful for that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I do know the most important decision a board will ever make is choosing the superintendent, and we did a darn good job on that. And I'm really proud of this board too, because we come from different places. We rarely disagree, but when we do it with respect. And I hope that that's something that trickles down as well. All right, everybody has said everything, and if anybody is half as exhausted as I am, I'm just going to say drive safe on the way home. And been a great meeting. I'm glad we can put this all behind us.